I'm going to demonstrate how to construct the right side view of the Lego block. To begin, I think there's some confusion over where to place your starting line, and part of that confusion might be that the handout shows 10 millimeters as the space between front view, top view, and right side view. 10 millimeters probably will be far too tight. It's if you put 10 in, I think you're going to have a drawing that sort of starts here. But if you look at the sheet, I think there's a pretty good stretch of space, at least 50 millimeters. So let's give that a try. First, you want to make sure you don't have anything in the way. So I'm just going to pull this in and pull this in. Oops. Okay. All right. So that's out of the way. This involves a little bit of math. So the starting point here, where we started all of our design work, was at 50, 50. So 50 millimeters up, 50 millimeters across. And then we added 100. So now we're at 150 on the x-axis. If we want to have a fairly, good sized space between these two, say for instance you wanted to add another 50. So you've got 50 plus 100, which is 150, plus 50, so you're at 200. So you could try a point there. You select your line tool and you type 200, comma 50, because you're still on the same y-axis. You hit enter. And you can see visually if that's a good starting point. I don't mind this as a starting point for the left side of the right side view, that sort of cat piece that comes out, but it's a little bit close because if you think about the fact that you have to add that little cat piece here, it's going to start running into your dimensions. So I'm going to hit escape, and instead I think I'm going to put it at 250. So I'll click here, 250, comma 50, hit enter. And that seems like it's awfully far away, but I think you'll find it's a comfortable space. If you look at your drawing, it shows that the halfway point is 55. So double that would be 110. So you move your mouse in the direction you're heading, type 110 and hit enter. And then the vertical distance is 100. So if you are, my snap seems to be turned off, so I'm just going to turn on this. And now it snaps nicely. Okay, so this is 100. And then this is 110. And this is 100. And then spacebar to trim. As you can see, we're still on the hidden layer, so we're going to select this. And move it to objects. There we go. Now what we want to do is create this jutting out piece. Comes out on the side. So you want your line tool. And if you look down at the chart, it shows that there is a distance of 5 here. So as we've done in the past, I'll just demonstrate this again. Let's zoom in. You start, make sure you have your line tool selected, and you start on the corner and you move up 5. Okay. And the distance is 30 according to the diagram. So you type in 30. I'm just going to zoom out a little too far in right now. And then the height would be 100 subtracting 10, which gives you 90. And then you come back in at 30. Okay, hit spacebar to trim. And don't forget to trim this little extra piece here that we always use to start out so that we have a nice tidy rectangle. Okay, so that concludes that. And now if you're interested in creating hidden lines, once again, you just have to make sure, oh, before we do that, let's ensure that we're on the correct layer. This is part of our objects layer. So we just want to change that to objects. Okay. Now, for some reason, my line type for objects at some point was incorrectly associated with hidden. So I think we'll just do continuous, select it here, which means this is going to be incorrect as well. So I'll just quickly change this to continuous and so on. I won't take up too much of your time, but pay attention to that if that happens to you. Okay, so our hidden line that comes along here, the depth is, let me see, if we look at a similar one, if you look up at the top view, you can see that this left section here is the bottom of the top view. And he has provided the measurement there. It's 20 millimeters. So this length here would be 20. And then the indent area is 5. So we take our line tool, start on the corner, move it down, put in 5, and then come down 20. Enter. And then the distance would be 90 this time, because remember that this height is 90, not 100. And then subtract 10, so this will be 80. Hit enter, and then finish it off with 20. And then spacebar to trim it, okay? And don't forget to take off that little piece that we no longer need. Okay, and this is on the correct layer. So it's on the hidden layer, that's a hidden line. Okay, the other parts of this diagram are a repeat in terms of how it's done. It's a repeat of the front view. I've covered what was different and what might have caused confusion with adding a point at a farther spot on your grid and finding these measurements when they're not written underneath the right side view.